Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and we are on the Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play account that is part of the HH Gaming competition. We've got Kayle all the way up to 6 stars and wrecking 12-3 brutal, so we are endgame viable for farming. We've got a few shards to rip here in the portal, and then also something interesting I want to talk about is, like, when should you expect to have your first 6 star? When should you have that up and rolling if you're playing well in Raid? I've got a really good perspective on this because I just did it, and I'd be able to do it a lot faster if I did it again. And then also, a few years ago, I had a spreadsheet where I tracked everything daily for the first month of playing free-to-play, so I can compare what the game was like back in 2020 compared to what people are doing now and what the thought process should be as you're trying to get up and rolling as efficiently as possible starting a new account in Raid in 2024. Let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, let's start the video out with a bang here, and let's see what we can do. We've got some spaces here to rip some champions. We want to be pulling our shards early game to see if we can't acquire Epic out the gate. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? Tayrel is a really, really good progression champion for early and mid game. Now it is living a little bit back in 2019. He's a little bit like Apothecary, like used to be a god to your pull. Still really solid though. You have somebody that can break attack on the A1, amazing for things like those dragon runs, just constantly placing that decrease attack. And he's also really good in the lifesteal set early game because he does damage every single turn and he scales with defense. So he's a tanky champion, which means the healing that he inflicts on himself is even more impactful because that life that he's healing is harder to strip away with him being a tanky defensive champion. So really, really good pull here to do the different stuff that he brings to the board here with the decreased attack and the sleep and all the different tankiness and stunning and capabilities that Tayrel has. So, okay, that is exciting, one shard in, and that's even better than pulling a legendary because in the free-to-play account, we can't use legendaries that we pull. Diabolus is a big rip. That's one that we can get from the campaign if we so wanted. Another rare, and we've got, okay, one of the new ones here, Margrave. One enemy continuous heal, ally with lowest HP is kind of nice. 3 random provoke. Okay, last shard. Come on, let's go. Come on, give me another epic. Here it is. Okay, Medicus, that's a really lame A1. AoE, decreased speed. It is the big version, but it's a super small chance. Even booked up, it is what, 35%? And then we do get increased defense on all allies. Not the worst rare. Definitely viable for like early to mid game faction wars type push. But I'll probably just be using Tayrel to solo as many of the easy stars as I can here for a while in the high elf faction wars. But okay, let's go back to where we stand right now on the free-to-play account, and I want to talk about this a little bit. So this is something I did years ago, like probably 20, I mean, my channel, you can see there on the spreadsheet, was still called Chofly Elite, and my Twitch was CF Chosen. You're talking years ago, probably 3 years ago, like 2021, end of 2020, beginning of 2021, somewhere around there, 2.5, 3 years ago, somewhere like that. But anyway, you can see here that the main thing is in this first area, we've got account level. So right now on my free-to-play account, I'm about 5 days in because it's technically like day 6.5 or 7, but I was traveling that first weekend, so I barely got to play. So I'm probably technically on like day 5, day 5.5. I was traveling during a blizzard and not really able to do much at all that opening weekend. And you can see here on day 5 and day 6, I was like level 33 for account level. So now let's compare this in 2024, and you can see that I am level 37 account level. So progressing much faster than I was able to back then. And then look at this from years ago. So 6-star champions right here in column F. We go all the way down to day 14 is when I got my first 6-star. Now, I was doing things like 5-starring other champions or trying to prioritize dungeon progression and stuff like that. So I definitely wasn't rushing a 6-star. But you compare that to 2024, and it's pretty much the norm to get your first 6-star champion on like day 3 or 4, and then some of the really top level grinders that really know what they're doing and they really go hard in the paint, they're doing it on like day 2. Because like right here, I've had Kayle 6-star for a little bit now, probably like a day and a half. So I basically did it on like day 4. And if I were able to do it again, I could probably do it on like day 2.5 or 3. And I believe there's some people that did it like at the start of day 2 or super fast. And just to give you a sense of kind of like some of the stats you're going to want to hit on your Kayle if you're looking to farm kind of like end game in Brutal. I can put my camera away so I don't block stuff here. But if we go to total stats, you can see you're going to kind of want like over 20k HP with, 2300 attack and at least 1,000, 1,100 defense or so, 150, 60, 70 speed. You want to get your crit rate as high as possible, as close to 100 as you can get it. And then the poisons aren't super impactful here in the campaign, but it does help. And you can see I've got 77 accuracy here with a lifesteal set. And then for your filler set, besides lifesteal, ideally, you want to go with one of the ones that are going to give you a little bit of shield. Like if you can use Divine Offense right here or something like that, that gives you that nice little boost of a shield for 3 turns. That can help you be able to get to a point where you're soloing with Kayle ASAP. And then what you want to do is spend for your masteries on your starting champion as soon as possible, because getting your first initial 6-star to have these masteries, spend those gems on that. That's going to help you. You really kind of need the masteries to be able to do 12-3 Brutal effectively as soon as possible. And yeah, I can show you my Kayle here as I go into the campaign and we start running on a 12-3 Brutal. It can get a little bit hard to fully 100% it because there are bombs that can be placed on you, and that can kind of snowball out of control and make it a little bit difficult for you to survive at 100% rate. But the nice thing is the Shazar that's going to be hitting you here in the last wave is Spirit Affinity, so going to be hitting you weak a lot. But you can see the bomb almost killed me there. If it would have been 2 of them, it maybe would have happened. Now I haven't seen my Kayle fail since he was like level 38 or 39 and got to kind of like those stat thresholds that I was showing you, but it definitely can happen. This is probably like a 98% win rate, something like that. You see there we got the 1 bomb there placed by the Shazar, and if it's 2 bombs placed, it would be close to a fail. Probably wouldn't fail, but it would definitely get close, and it could happen. So it's probably like a 98% win rate, but as I get him closer to like level 50 or so instead of level 45, it'll definitely hit up into that 100% win rate. So let's go ahead and show this last run here. But yeah, we're finally grinding 12-3 Brutal, which is endgame viable in terms of food grinding and endgame farming as far as XP is concerned. And we're able to do that on like day 4.5, day 5-ish. And there we go. Boom. So that is how... Oh, and look, we were hitting max level anyway. So yeah, in terms of what I learned and what I would do to try and shave off a day, day and a half or so on getting that Kayle up to max level, what I would do if I did this over again is I probably wouldn't focus as much on like some of these challenges that were really hard to do, and I end up spending like 80, 90 energy on them. I would probably just go hard in the paint to get as many of these progress missions in the Arbiter section done as fast as possible. I would just beeline that and then feed everything I can, like the 3-star champions that are dropping from the campaign and everything, and just get into being able to do 12-3 on Brutal as soon as possible, because that's really going to snowball your progress and be able to make you as strong as possible to be able to get into higher level dungeons and get into higher level potion keeps and just be able to scale as soon as you can, so that when you do pull something like a Tayrel, you're able to ascend him that much faster and gear him out that much better and just kind of snowball, get better rewards in the Demon Lord and all of that ASAP by getting your Kayle focused on the masteries and getting 6-starred, while focusing on the Arbiter missions to get as many rewards from that section that you can, and then pumping everything in to food and campaign. But yeah, as far as like a new player, when should you have your first 6-star? I would say if you're doing it like, if you're a new player, you're not going to really be able to navigate everything perfectly. I would say if you can do it within the first 7 to 10 days, you're doing well. If you're an experienced player, you're probably gonna definitely want your first 6-star inside of a week, probably by like day 3 to 5, depending on how hard you're grinding the account. But if you're within the first week, you're doing good on your journey for sure, as you get started on Raid, because it's gotten a little bit better now with time, and you should be able to kind of hit those thresholds if you're really trying hard on the account and you're watching like YouTube videos and stuff like that to know what you're doing. So yeah, that is the journey so far, and it's been exciting. I had a summoning session that went well where we got Apothecary, and then now I had a summoning session that went well with Tayrel. Gonna be a little bit difficult to beat those Force Affinity stages. I don't have like a big pull as a Spirit Affinity in terms of damage dealer. I've got Deacon, but yeah, the 4 stages are gonna be a little bit tough with Kayle and Apothecary and Tayrel kind of being cornerstones of my roster. But I will have a little bit of health here with Rathalos and Deacon. That'll probably be like my main first team of 5. We're going to go with Kayle, Rathalos, Apothecary, Deacon, and Tayrel as kind of like that initial 5 full team that I end up building first. So yeah, cheers. I appreciate all of you. Remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy Raid Shadow Legends content, and I will see you soon in the next video. Peace.